Yes, good morning. It's exactly 16 minutes. That is past 7. And of course, very delighted to have you in today's morning show. Smart Means Business. I'm Aljo Barija, your host. And we definitely have very amazing, of course, information that is into the pipeline. But of course, I understand it's been quite a while since we last got in touch. But of course, I'm back and we're here to talk the language of business. Of course, we have very amazing, interesting stories here, and across into most especially our Caribbean East Africa. There is a sorry, not Caribbean East Africa. From the international update side, we have a report that actually reveals how exactly one of the organizers of the COP29, who was actually caught signing fossil deals, deals that are related to coal and all related to that. So we shall be, of course, taking a look into that, but definitely, and also later on, we shall be having a discussion in line with mapping that is identifying the persons with a disability. And I guess that will be mainly into our business insight that will be accompanied with that. But there is quite a lot of very interesting topics that we're going to be looking into that is today. But of course, before I proceed along, before any other related discussion, allow me switch and we take a look at what's really making headlines within the press. Well, as we kickstart off here, I kickstart off with the Daily Monitor as always. Now, of course, there is something in line with the merger, that is the rationalization of the government agencies. And of course, we see here the merger madness. Why is it called the merger madness here? Of course, the paradox of rationalization, as well the government claims to merge agencies, that is in a bid to cut costs. It's well meaning that logic falls under its weight when the stake continues to create what we call that is the outfits. And of course, this has been largely cited out here, especially that is at the State House that do similar, all overlapping roles, of course, with the existing bodies that have been demonstrated that is in the field. So there is further details that are entailed into this discussion. And of course, the country here we see has more than 139 presidential advisors, with 43 of them above 6 million each. That is the monthly salary. Of course, while the rest on the range between 4 million, talking about 2.2 million, that is Ugandan shillings. That is according to the figures that are put there. And of course, there is a load of some of the units created that is in the recent years that seem to be performing overlapping tasks. So we shall be taking a look into that. Now, free cancer screening draws masses on first day. That is on the exercise. Very interesting. And of course, 15 youths arrested in Kampala. That is in the anti-oil pipeline protests. And Law Society weighs in on Parliament handling that is of the Coffee Authority merger. So there is a lot to be looked into. And of course, to reminded here over hate speech on on Museveni's family. This is what has been really put out here. And now it's still in other news. Government warns NGOs on donor funding ahead of the 2026 polls. So the NGOs actually are not supposed, that is to front or sponsor a candidate for elective seats. So that has been cited out, and it's been decided, the fact that it's been highlighted here. Now, UCI registers big turnout at cancer screening camp. Now, the institute plans to screen between that is 500 to 1,000 people in a 2-day cancer screening camp that actually ends today. So there is a lot to really look into there. And police are yet to arrest suspects in Pastor Bujingo shooting. Yes, of course, Uh, well, taking a look at that. Now, of course, the back of judges' privileges, court tells leadership tribunal members about the backing of the judges' privileges. So there is a lot that has been said about that matter. Now, proceeding along here, of course, there is a whole page here discussing the cherry picking in mergers of the agencies. There is a lot in there, and a lot has been said, and I believe it's quite insightful. Now, 15 arrested in renewed anti-oil pipeline protests. As we see, this comes in 2 months after police actually arrested 18 youths who actually tried to march towards the Ministry of Energy over the same issue. So that is something to also look up to there. And of course, government is pushing for what we call stable fuel pump prices. Yeah, of course, the average cost of petrol now is averaging at about 5,000 Ugandan shillings. Yeah, that is quite fair. And of course, the civil aviation starts gazetting, and that is the Kabalege International Airport. And now, of course, the airport is expected to start operations in 2025. That is with cargo planes delivering heavy equipment for oil production. So this is something there. The civil aviation starts gazetting Kabalege International Airport. Now, the Shigezi Mada case, something has been said about the Shigezi Mada case here as lawyers withdraw as court seeks replacement. Yeah, so that has been also cited out there. Now, of course, violence here, of course, they say here that good news can't come out of bad processes. This is violence, according to the ULS. Now, of course, going by the events for last week, the Ugandan law is neither good nor being made well. Now, the laws are bad, according to what is said here, and the processes of making them is faulty. Why is it faulty? There is a lot of details that you can actually get to find out when you grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor. Now, leaders tasked on coffee registration as the European deadline looms. So there is something to say. And now there is a story here in regards to coffee about a gentleman who builds a dream house, buys a vehicle from coffee. Of course, Mr. Sekabembe believes that when farmers embrace good farm management practices, the coffee industry will definitely thrive. This is what Sekabembe says. So 120 million, that is the cost what he earned from the coffee beans. That is in the year 2023 and the year 2024. Yeah, this is 120 million. How many Ugandans really are in position to earn that amount of money on a yearly basis? Rare. Of course, they are there, but not so many. Now, 70 pledges animal feeds machine in Bukedi. Of course, the head of state praised the model farmers in Busoga sub-region, and of course has urged Ugandans to adapt. That is a similar entrepreneurial mindset. This according to the president, urging the Ugandans right there. Now, of course, the Nyege Nyege festival here, as the clergy are uniting against it. Now, the clerics say the festival is not good for the young generation and continues to erode our values and customs. This is according to what the clergy said in regards to that. Now, farmers demand seeds, banks to go indigenous. Yeah, banks to go indigenous. Farmers demand seed banks to go indigenous. In line with that, do we have even seed banks in this country? We do, but not according to what is expected of a country that claims of relying on agriculture. Now, new operation breathes life into fight on charcoal trade. Yeah, very interesting here. We're discussing matters to do with climate change. Now, security agencies have since last month impounded at least 80,000 bags of charcoal. Yeah, according to that. Now, with the bans mining of sandstones in rivers, yep, mining sandstone in rivers has been banned in Bundibujo. Of course, what could be the reason? When you grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor, you will be able to find out what really inspired this. Now, of course, talking about the ECG, that is governance and the ECGs. Now, beyond the boardroom, a blueprint for Uganda's future. This is the letter of the day. So what is that blueprint like? Grab yourself a copy that is of the new vision, and you will be in position to find what really that is. Now, mechanics of Islamic banking has been cited out here as a lot. Of course, many people don't really understand what Islamic banking is. Something they know, but they don't know. So the mechanics have been put right here. The mechanics of Islamic banking. So if you need it, you'll find it there, right for you. Now, of course, we see here in line with the cover story. I may not really get into that, but of course we see efficiency pays off, and they telling us to discover how to save more every month. So, do you really take care of your expenses on a daily? Many times, when you do that, you will be shocked by how much actually you spend on unnecessary items and how much you would have saved if you decided to avert the money to the right cause. You know, you would really save quite some good amount of money. So there are tips that have been highlighted here, how that can actually happen. All right. And Sanjay here says that he's the executive officer of the Standard Chartered Bank. He comes out here and says that life is best lived when you serve, says Sanjay. That is something. So service is key. You need to serve. I like it when the Bible says that who will entrust you with your own if you're not faithful in another month? You know, so you need to serve first. Now, of course, for those that are planning to retire early, your path to an early retirement is right here. Of course, as you plan for your retirement expenses, think about how inflation might actually increase your costs over time. That is part of the key icebreakers that you can learn as you're really planning to retire early. Now, of course, from the company news, we take a look at the harmonized DTS costs with other EAC states. Now, of course, according to the report, that is DTS charges are likely to actually make the final price of the goods and services expensive, leading to an increase in illicit trade, because Uganda is a price-sensitive market. Yeah, so there is a lot of so the Ugandan government has been urged to harmonize the DTS costs. That is those transactions in the border with other East African member states. So how are we cooperative to really join that lane? Well, now switching briefly to the new vision as we take a look at what is happening here. Of course, from the coffee side, State House probes ministers regarding coffee. Now, the members of parliament are also being investigated over seedlings diversion. So there is a lot to look into there. And the national resistance officials, Dr. Wakida, there is a lot to find out how this really underwent. And defense lawyers protest evidence. Yeah, this is in matters with the Katanga case. And now from the UAC, schools decree fees, default rates. Yeah, UAC examinations, that is the update regarding that. Now, still, as we still discuss these matters, from the judiciary side, a bail system plagued by corruption. This is according to what the judiciary, from the side of the judiciary, the bailing system is actually so corrupt. This is what has been discovered. Now, police raise a red flag over chloroform attacks in buses. So something to really be careful of. Now, most of the perpetrators often deceive their victims into consuming food and drinks laced with sedative. So you have to be very careful. Chloroform is becoming an issue here. Now, the Kabalega Airport test flight successful. Congratulations to those that made that a possibility. And now from the Kofi State House, props to ministers. Now, sources noted that one of the ministers, of course, the name has been withheld here, owned about 8 nursery companies in different parts of the country. Yeah, this is very absurd. Most especially when it comes to the protectionism aspect. Why don't we see a place where everybody's protected, in terms of from the monopoly, a place where every person has a part to play? I was so impressed recently.
Mukisa ddala eri abakyala abanoonyi b'obubudamu namwe enteekateeka eno egenda kubakolako mu ngeri ey'enjawulo okumanya ebisingawo. Tuukirira Post Bank, DFCO, Centenary Bank, Finance Trust Bank ne Stanbic Bank oba genda ku mukutu gwaffe ogwa www.grow.go.ug oba okujja ku ofiisi za PSFU ku Kyaddondo Road e Nakasero ku kizimbe kya Trust Tower omwaliiro ogusooka oba okuweereza obubaka bwa WhatsApp ku nooti 7623 3 nooti 4961. Omukisa guno gw'abakyala bonna okwetooloola eggwanga era ng'enteekateeka ya Grow evujjirirwa banka y'ensi yonna n'eteekebwa mu nkola Ministry y'ekikula ky'abantu ne Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Blue magic is my joy. Ono blue magic, wange. Ayo, nalaba kumabala.
Atukuzanoonyirirawo kirako ennyama tayisa bubi faburiki kyonna kyekiri kiggwa lwa is my choice ono bulu magiki bulu ye wange ambye bulu magiki is my choice ono bulu magiki blue magic
abantu bangi bafiira mu bwenje buli wiiki batugamba basuba mu 7 oyagala okunnyonnyoka ekiviirako ekyo program vumbula ekidduka kyo
those are safety belts kisinga emmotoka efuna obuzibu oba ofuna instant braking kati sibye omusipi fe ab'emaaso nze drive instant braking nga gwe tosibye ow'emabega olaba w'oyitawo n'otubuukira n'okuba omutwe mu ndabirwamu
omuntu yenna buli owulira nga emmotoka yefunye enkenye tetambula bulungi etakonakoona tesiba
Sunday essaawa 7 okutuuka kitundu neddibwamu ku lunaku olwokusatu essaawa 4 n'ekitundu ez'ekiro nange omuweerezaawo Davis Joe Eddungu ku Smart 24 TV kwe tuli ku DSTV tuli ku mukutu ogwa 372 ate ku GoTV ku program vumbula ekidduka kyo.
All the football on DSTV Compact for only 110,000 shillings per month.
Yes, we'll be back from the break. Smart means business. Andrew Barigi, host. Now, this particular time, we're heading straight into what is making headlines in Caribbean, East Africa, and the international updates. Maybe just to give you a recap of what we should anticipate. Now, we kickstart off with Kenya. Now, for this case, it's in line with the African Continental Free Trade Area ambitions. As we see, the small and intermediary enterprises, the medium enterprises, fast exports, they exported actually under the African Continental Free Trade Area. That is, Kenya was exporting to Zambia, the DRC, and South Sudan. So this is quite a great achievement. Now, of course, still from that, we shall be taking a look at the Kenya stock. That will be part of the discussions. And from the international perspective, we shall be taking a look at the COP29 chief executive personnel that, undertook a fossil deal. This was quite a huge scandal. All right, now heading straight with our Kickstarter for the day today, Kenya. Now, the Kenyan medium, small and intermediary enterprises ship fast exports under the African Continental Free Trade Area, and they're exporting these to Zambia, DRC, and South Sudan. Now, Kenyan micro, small, and medium enterprises have shipped, that is, their fast exports of assorted products, that is to South Sudan, Zambia, DRC, under the African Continental Free Trade Area framework. That is an initiative dubbed Trade Connect. Now, according to the report, over the next 12 months, the initiative aims to mobilize and transport 100,000 containers, that is of diverse goods, worth 1.2 million across the continent. Now, the government hopes that the Trade Connect initiative will actually improve Kenya's export by 10%, that is annually, and cut logistics, what we call the logistics nightmare, to the exporters by 30%. Now, the initiative, we see that it's a collaboration among multiple stakeholders, including the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, the likes of the KNCSI, we have the MSEA, we have the UBA Bank, which are all partners here, and the Ministry of Cooperatives, Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises Development. Now, according to a statement here by one of the participants, this is what he said. He says that as we strive to produce what we can consume and what we can produce, the Trade Connect initiative will empower Kenyan businesses to actually become more competitive and self-sustaining, and that is fostering growth and innovation, as according to what has been said. And now this is our Deputy President Kithure, the new one actually. Now, the value of Kenya's exports to Zambia stood at about 70 million United States dollars in 2023, with its principal export product to the country being manufactured tobacco and manufactured tobacco substitutes. Now, this made about 10.6% of Kenya's exports to the country. Other key export products include margarine, other edible mixtures. This is about 9.5%. We have the medicaments of therapeutic oil, that is propalyptic users. That is about 6.8%. Okay. Now, Kenya's exports to Democratic Republic of Congo have actually been on a downward trend, declining from the United States dollars. That is 239 United States dollars, 239 million United States dollars in 2014 to about 132 million United States dollars in 2019. That is, and according to what we see here, is that years later, for example, 2020 and 2023, sees the export values increasing. That is from 134.4 million to about 189.9 million. However, still to note that Kenya's imports from the Democratic Republic of Congo have been increasing. That is growing from 3 million United States dollars in 2024 to about 23.3 million United States dollars come 2023. Now, between 2014 and 2023, Kenya's exports to the DRC averaged at about 18.11 million, while other imports from the DRC Congo averaged at about 15.5 million, that is United States dollars. Now, the balance of trade between the two countries has widened in favor of Kenya between 2014 and 2024, all through the past decade, with the peak value being 236.4 million in 2014, and that is the lowest being 108.5 million United States dollars. Now, the UBA, that is said that it also signed a memorandum of understanding, that is with Africa, with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, and this was in particular with the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area. That's what the UBA signed a memorandum of understanding, and this will be the purpose of this is actually to provide financing for up to $6 billion US dollars. That is over the next 3 years to eligible SME across Africa, and USD about 285 million specific allocation, that is to Kenya. Now, Ms. Mary Molili, the managing director and the CEO of the UBA, that is UBA Kenya, noted that UBA remains committed, that is to supporting the growth development of the small and intermediary enterprises in Kenya. Now, this is in line with their strategic focus, that is of the small and intermediary segment being a catalyst, being a catalyst to economic development within Africa. All right, away from that, we're still in Kenya as we take a look at what's really making headlines. Now, recently, we had a report that suggested, it was actually saying that Kenya had increased about $420 billion capital inflows within the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Still, that same week, another report comes out as Kenya outperforms African peers, that is in the performance of the stock market. Isn't that amazing? All through Kenya. Kenya is actually making it through. All right, as I head into this report, the Nairobi Securities Exchange registered the highest returns, that is among African bourses in dollar terms, buoyed by a stronger shilling and higher, what we call a higher blue chip stock prices. Now, according to the Morgan Stanley Capital International Index, which tracks performance of 10 African exchanges, the Nairobi Securities Exchange surged 60% in 10 months to October, bouncing back from 43% loss in 2023. Now, the MCI index, this according to my reports, Kenya climbed 332 points from the beginning of 2024 to the end of October. That is at about 885. Now, in October, the index rose 10.4% from 802 as at the end of September. Now, following closely was Ivory Coast, rallying by 33.4%, Mauritius 31.5%. I'm actually shocked. Mauritius is one of the African countries that I know that have one of the best financial markets, well-established financial markets. But Kenya, from East Africa, has broken that record as we speak. Now, in Kenya, the MCCI tracks, that is about 9 Kenyan blue chip stocks. Now, these include Safaricom, the KCB Group, the Equity Group, the East Africa Breweries, Cooperative Bank, British American Tobacco, the Diamond Trust Bank. We have the Kengen. I mean, it's quite so many. I can't really exhaust the list as we look at that. All right, now, away from that, as we take a look at the international updates, let's get into a very interesting story here from one of the organizers of the COP29, who actually who has filmed promoting fossil fuel deals. Now, a senior official at the COP29 climate change conference in Azerbaijan appears to have used his role, that is to arrange a meeting, to discuss potential fossil fuel deals. Now, this is according to what the press reveals. Now, the secret recording shows the chief executive of Azerbaijan's COP29 team, that is Elnar Sultanov. He was discussing investment opportunities in the state oil and gas company with a man posing as a potential investor. Yeah, this is a real scandal. We have a lot of gas fields that are too developed. This is what, according to what he said. Now, a former head of the United Nations body responsible for the climate talks told the press that his actions were actually completely unacceptable and a betrayal of the COP process. This is a big betrayal. Now, as well as being the chief executive of the COP29, Sultanov is also the deputy energy minister of Azerbaijan, and he's on the board of SOCAR. Now, Azerbaijan's COP29 team has not responded to a request for comment. Now, oil and gas accounts for about half of Azerbaijan's total economy and more than 90% of its exports, according to the United States figures. Now, the COP29 will actually will open in Baku on Monday, and is going to be the 29th Annual United Nations Climate Summit, where governments are going to be discussing how to limit and prepare for climate change and raise global ambition, that is to tackle the issue. However, this is the second, this is the second year in a row that the press has revealed alleged wrongdoing by the host government. Wrongdoing by the host government. Now, the BBC has been shown documents and secret video recordings made by the human rights organization, that is Global Witness, showing that. Now, it is understood that one of its representatives approached the COP29 team, posing as the head of a fictitious Hong Kong investment firm, of course, specializing in energy. This according to what he said. Now, he said the company was interested in sponsoring the COP29 summit, but wanted to discuss investment opportunities in Azerbaijan's state energy firm. Now, SOCAR in return decided to take this. So he called for an online meeting and is posing as the investor in an oil company. It's quite a huge shame. Now, the big question is that the very countries that actually host the COP meetings, do they really lead by the example? Because this is not the first time. This is the second time in a row, according to reports, where the press actually reports of wrongdoings by the host country. Well, let's see where this really leads this whole mission. Remember, it's no longer for a given region. Climate change is a challenge for everyone today. It's a challenge for you, it's a challenge for me. So that is the responsibility. When we take it from the personal level, from the domestic perspective, that actually I'm responsible for the way the weather behaves, then it will be very easy for me to actually live by example. I'll say that. Right, exactly 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Allow me to go for the break and returning with our inspiration moment. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
oli mukyala munna bizinensi era oyagala bizinensi gavumenti ya uganda ekuleetedde ssente za guro era nga weewola okuva ku bukadde buna okutuuka ku bukadde 2 n'osasula mu bbanga lya myaka 2 ate nga gw'asasula mu budde olina mukisa ddala eri abakyala abanoonyi b'obubudamu baliko obulemu enteekateeka eno egenda kubakolako mu njawulo okumanya ebisingawo tuukirira post Centenary Bank, Finance Trust Bank ne Stanbic Bank oba genda ku mukutu gwaffe ogwa www.grow.go.ug oba okujja ku ofiisi za PSFU ku Kyaddondo Road e Nakasero ku kizimbe kya Trust Tower omwaliiro ogusooka oba okuweereza obubaka bwa WhatsApp ku nooti 762 3 nooti 49 omukisa guno gw'abakyala bonna okwetooloola eggwanga era ng'enteekateeka ya Grow evujjirirwa banka y'ensi yonna neteekebwa mu nkola minisitule y'ekikula ky'abantu ne Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Abantu bangi bafiira mu bubenje buli wiiki batugamba basiba mu 7 oyagala okunnyonnyoka ekibira program vumbula ekidduka kyo
omuntu atudde munda those are safety belts kisinga emmotoka efuna obuzibu ofuna instant braking kati woba ontudde mabega nze nsibye omusipi fe ab'emaaso nze driver nenkola instant braking nga gwe tosibega olaawo oyitawo n'otubuukira n'okuba omutwe mu ndabirwamu
omuntu yenna owulira nga n'obuzibu tetambula bulungi etambula ekoona koona tesiba
olwa Sunday essaawa 7 okutuuka n'ekitundu neddibwamu ku lunaku olwokusatu essaawa 4 n'ekiro nange omuweerezaawo Davis Eddungu ku Smart 24 TV kwe tuli ku DSTV tuli ku mukutu ogwa 372 vumbula ekidduka kyo.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
Smart 24, driving business.
Ninsima project etwihiroko mbyaro ekatureta ahaha kuba turi abantu bingi tubeta kumanya ngo ntubasa kwikaha ninsima grow etuyambere ekatwihoko ekatwegese ebintu bingi bitubeta kumanya ebintu byingi tubeta kubimanya tubeta kamanya ngo tubasa kurakurana business zitu tubeta kweyikirizamu ninsima grow abwo kutuyamba ekatwiho mu bingi ekatureta aha tukaba twayega ninsima grow aboktu habula ntubasa kubaba mani ombwire bwo miso ekateka mu business nko kuturakore business zitu kurakulana nko kuturabe ntandika amabanja na nebitwafuna ningisima abo kuba etwerekera hante tukusopinga emyenda yatwerekera omwo wino yatwereka mu kiyembe na no mwahamu ndirenta kuchimanya na nabandi batahi banje be batakuhamanya so grow etwerekera ebintu byingi yatwereka iba kusopinga dummies aha kasente kache yatwereka nko kuba kozesa ebiharani by'amasanya grow ningisima nyumbe yenta kuchimanya ngo nimbasa kwiza nkoreki egecyarani cy'amasanyaraza kuba witikiriyo grow ningisima abo kutusupporting.
Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
We all have that one friend. Oh, the big moments. And ready. He's always got his eyes on the prize. Would we be without our BFFs? This season, enjoy all 380 Premier League. Your BFF Go TV. Upgrade or reconnect to Go TV Super Plus for the discounted price of just 90,000 shillings today. Go TV Uganda. Love it.
Smart 24, driving business.
women enterprises.
Smart 24, driving business.
All right, we'll be back from the break. Exactly 10 minutes past 8. This is Smart Means Business. Andrew Barry, your host, and I'm joined with Falda as we're going to be having a very amazing discussions here. Falda, good morning. It's a pleasure.
Good morning, Andrew.
How are you? How is your day? How is it so far?
My day is okay. I'm just excited to kickstart the business journey and the business engagements for today.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great. Of course, at this particular time, since we're heading into the inspiration moment, we have very interesting discussions that we're going to be really putting across on the show today. And we're heading into what we call the inspiration moment. So let's get into the Smart Means Business quote of the day. And when I return, we shall be sharing with Falda. Today we're going to be discussing a gentleman known as Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller, one of the wealthiest people to ever exist on this earth, though he wasn't the richest, but he's among the richest people at the time. Yeah, let's get into the quote of the day today. All right, that's what we had as our quote of the day today. Falda, before we proceed into discussing anything, what is it that you feel like you want to share with the viewers in line with, it could be your experience or something you've adapted somewhere and it has helped your life to get to some level?
Okay, that's interesting, Andrew, and
Yeah.
thanks for asking. One thing that I am learning, or that I'm learning on this journey of career growth and vis-a-vis passion, and it's resilience, something that is not talked about much often.
Okay, I love that.
How much are you willing to go? How far are you willing to go in order to pursue your dreams and career? you know, the start is always hard. That's something we forget. We're always looking at success stories, but we are looking at the end goal, where someone is standing, and we don't take time to know what they did or how much they had to persevere in order to get where they are. So when we give examples in this space, I would look at people like Steve Jobs. Do you know that Steve Jobs was kicked out of his company of Apple? Back then, when he was still pursuing it, by actually a co-partner that he brought on board, right? We see that the gentleman who started KFC did not get to start it until he was in his older age. But when we look at that, we don't look at what he went through to get there. We tend to undermine it, right? And us as young people, or mainly people who are in this career path, of course we are having a lot of challenges, you know? It is a space that is really new to us, and most people do not know how to navigate their way through it. So they end up giving up, and before they actually get there. So that's actually one thing that I'm learning as well, right? That in order to get somewhere, I need to be more resilient. I need to be more persistent on the dreams and goals. And there's that quote that says that focus on the end of the tunnel. The end of the tunnel. Yeah. And there's a lot of jokes that has been made about it. That some people, they don't get to see the end of the tunnel. They're just not interested. There's no light there as they promised. Basically, they say that basing on where they are standing right now, so they don't have a future vision of where they want to be, right? And when you get to interact with a number of people, they advise us to have mentors and coaches in every space that you're in, career-wise or passion-wise, right? They get to tell you that things are tough. No one really made it on the first try, And being a generation of a bit, should I say small-minded or lazy people, we tend to, or maybe heartbroken by a number of things. I'm sorry about that.
No. You didn't actually, you didn't attack them. Maybe you said the truth.
Yeah, we tend to think that things have previously been given to us on a silver platter, right? When it comes to education, you know that all you have to do is to wake up and go to school. You don't know where this tuition came from. But if the people who tell you that they had to go through a lot of sweat in order to bring that to the table. They tell you that it's not really easy. We won't understand it because, again, it comes down to our education system, right? We've been given all these notes, all these theories, etc., and we've not been given the reality of what's out here,
what's out there.
Or
you're
even,
very right.
So it takes us longer to adjust. So we see that a number of people are giving up. A number of people giving up on the businesses they've started because they've had a mishap to start with. So it is such things that are teaching me resilience, right? And the more I interact with a number of people out there, people in our age group, right? You see that they're faced with these challenges, and the fact that the challenges are taking longer to be solved, we tend to give up, right? We tend to give up. We tend to quit on jobs. We tend to quit on our passions, or we tend to quit on a number of things. But I believe that the one who stays fixated on where they want to go, regardless of whether the journey is tough or not, they'll eventually get there. I mean, we're not promised whether anything is going to be easy. The only thing that is promised in life is death, right? Otherwise, everything along the journey is uncertain. So it also comes down to how you view it as a person. If you're taking it personal, that things won't work out for me, things are not working out for everyone.
For every person. Absolutely.
So that's what I'm learning. Andrew, how about you?
Well, very interesting. Actually, I've come to look at quite a number of things. But there is something that has been so outstanding on my side that I found so interesting. I've been trying to understand, if you take a look at where we stand as Africa, we take a look at Asia, America, and so many. We've had civilizations arising on those various continents. But the biggest question is that what made some of those civilizations to be in position you just one day to be like me, would you be able? Would you be able to sacrifice? Because sacrifice is discipline.
Okay. You've talked about something that's really interesting, manifestation, and that's a word that is getting quite common with the coming of digital. I honestly, I didn't know it before I got into this whole digital space of TikTok, the social platforms, right? And a number of people tend to think that this art of manifestation is like, say and it will be. Right?
Yeah.
So
and it will be.
Yeah. I think there's a number of things behind manifestation.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. And actually, when you see people that are in position to, let me say, execute something, and perhaps they have results very fast, we don't take time to study what has been their life, because the manifestation takes the shortest time. Yeah. But the process is longer. But we are not willing to wait for that process. So, relating to what you've just mentioned, everything, let me relate this. I'm not preaching, but I'm going to talk about this.
Okay.
Somewhere in the Bible, there's where a prophet, that is Prophet Elijah, stops rain to stop for how many days were they? I'm not quite certain. So, but it is simple. The Bible just says Elijah honestly prayed, and it didn't rain for some time. So me who's reading this, I'm like, well, I can do it. Let me go pray. I pray. Nothing works out. But by the time this person prays and things work out, he has cultivated this from afar. So, in other words, for example, a football match takes 90 minutes, but a training can last for weeks. Yeah. Movie productions, it has to be produced, but for you to watch it in 1 hour and 30 minutes. So the manifestation is sweet. And this generation where we live in, the Gen Z, we are so much attracted to the fruits of the manifestation. We feel like we want to relate to the manifestation all the time. So what that really means, we are blinded by the bigger picture.
Yes, that's true.
How do I get the results this person says that he will accomplish a task in the shortest period of time?
Okay. First of all, I think that when it comes down to a personal level, everyone has their timing.
Timing.
Yeah. And
that is true.
Yeah, when it comes also to dedication, right? The work that you may have done in probably 1 year, someone can get it done in 1 week. That does not mean that you weren't as productive as them, right? And you see that people have different levels of love for something. Yeah. That also has to do much with what you said. When you said earlier about sacrifice, when you're sacrificing a lot, but the wins are not being portrayed.
You seem to be doing the acts of success, but you're not manifesting success.
Yeah. There are two different kinds. I would think that there are two different types of sacrifice, right? There is hopeful sacrifice, and then there is sacrifice that just comes down to, I must do this because it's all I have to do, right?
Yes.
Then hopeful sacrifice is kind of different. You're going to sacrifice, but you're going to love sacrificing along the way. And let me tell you, you talked about the Bible earlier, right? And just on a general level, they say that there is that God who is within you, right?
Inside,
yes,
inside.
And you only get to listen to that voice when you're
silent voice.
When you're silent, quiet, right? And if you're being hopeful about sacrifice, you can feel it. You can feel it that it's going to lead to something, right? Yeah. So you continue on that journey. And you add it with prayer, right? And manifestation. For me, my belief of manifestation is it goes more down to like what you think of yourself as a person. When we say that, Andrew, you're going to start this business adventure, right?
Yeah.
Of music, producing music, right? And you're not, for me, I see it as a person. That when you do this, you're going to become this. But when it comes down to you as a person, when you say it, right? Yeah. You don't feel it. You don't feel it.
As I confess it, I don't affirm. It's like I don't believe that I can make it.
Yeah, so manifestation comes with believing that you can get somewhere, And when I talk about that, I remember when I was back in high school, right? In Form 5. Yeah. I told my friends, my name has to be in the newspapers. I have to be in the newspapers when results come back for Form 6, right?
It came up?
And a number of them laughed. So they were like, so Falda, you're going to go to probably book it there and take a picture when your results are back. You know, there's a number of people who do that, right?
Do that, yeah.
Yeah, and I told them, no, guys, my name will be there on merit. And none of them believed in me because I was never a top student, right?
And it happened.
But it came down to me believing in myself.
Yeah.
So I worked hard. The effort I put in I was doubled throughout my whole education journey. And actually it paid off,
So extreme.
right?
Wow.
So it is seeing and believing that you're going to be there and speaking it into the universe. This is going to happen. I'm going to be this self-made entrepreneur. I'm going to be the best in my career. And then also giving yourself a time limit, right? If you say that from between today and probably 2025, because man, 2024 has come to an end, I'm going to be on top of my game,
Absolutely.
right? You see it, you believe it, even just saying it. You feel it that, yeah, and then you find out, what am I going to do along the way? That's making the short-term plans and the long-term plans, right? Short-term plans, you group them to at least 30 days, for example. There is a saying that billionaires group their year into, is it 4 quarters, right? It's so the year is made of 12 months. 12, so they group it down into 3
3 months,
And they're going to say, what am I going to have achieved in 3 months? I must have probably produced this product, right? And if you look at those short-term goals, they eventually manifest larger goals that are going to be able to help someone get to where they want to be. So that is what I think it has to do with manifestation, sacrifice. It's all a group package, but both dissecting different paths to where you're supposed to be.
All right. Thank you, Falda. She has shared really some very amazing insights, and she's going to be with us. Expect her to be around with this amazing information. Well, let's go for the break now. Coming up is entertainment.
Smart 24, driving business.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan, true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
We all have that friend. By your side for the big moments.
egateraho umukono egatera